So, Mark, we're to discuss our Desert Island Discs, aren't we, really? Which is, we're going to mix it up a little bit because we're going to have 8 tracks of pop. So
Yeah.
how's it going to be different from the well-established Radio 4?
I think we've worked together for a couple of years now. We've had lots of discussions about music and lots of discussions about work, and we share a similar philosophy, I think, in terms of the way we deal with our students and the way we work with people. And I think we're going to choose tracks that might have a relationship to some of those things, some of the work things we've done, also some stuff to do with our private lives and how those two things mesh sometimes.
Not too private, though, is it?
No, we don't want to get too private or too personal, Clive. I think that
okay.
might be a mistake.
Because I think probing can be intimate, can't it? So
It can be pretty painful at times.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Depends what you probe with.
Yeah, indeed. And how literal we're talking about the probing.
So how's the format going to work then for this? Just in case people are still listening at the end of this 45 minutes.
I think what we'll do is we'll go away from the you doing your 8 tracks to you doing 1 track, I doing 1 track, and we'll chop and change, so we don't get overly burdened with ourselves.
I think that's good because your tracks are quite boring, aren't they? So.
Well chosen but boring.
Whereas mine are inspirational, and actually, if you have too much of that,
Yeah, it would get messy, wouldn't
yeah,
it?
they're not even mine. Actually,
No.
I didn't pick them. I just found it as a playlist. But
Did you Google inspiring music to impress others?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Well, it's just been a feature of my career, isn't it? Really.
Google really has the answer to
It
everything,
does,
doesn't
yeah.
it? Absolutely.
So let's begin.
Let's begin indeed. Since I've worked with you, which is a couple of years, we've always talked about music, have we not?
We have indeed, yeah, and it's been quite a journey, really, sort of experiencing different songs first thing in the morning
Yeah,
when we get in for work about 8 o'clock.
yeah.
So this is kind of going to look at the different journeys that we've been on, really, I think, isn't it? And some personal journeys in terms of our own music, etc.
Yeah, and we're going to model it loosely on Desert Island Discs, as you called it earlier.
2 S's
Two
rather than
S's.
1, isn't it?
So no tiramisu.
Which is good. Which is one thing you're known for, isn't it? Your
Accuracy with my language.
That's right.
Yes.
Some people don't call it accuracy; they call it pedantry.
Pedantry.
Maybe perhaps, but that's okay.
They're probably right, Clive.
So what
Probably right.
would be your Desert Island disc?
Well, the first one I would go for is a song called Stereotype by The Specials. And I chose this because it really takes me back to my first teaching job, which was in Poland, where I spent a very, very cold winter. It was about
What year was-
minus 20. It was probably about 1997. And it was about minus 20, and I was wrapped up, and I was walking around the streets of Warsaw listening to my Walkman, and this was one of the songs I used to listen to. So it's very redolent of that time. So shall we hear a bit of that?
Go on then. Get the DJ to play it for us.
Okay, Echo. Play Stereotype by The Specials.
Stereotype, Part 2, 2002 remaster by The Specials.
Echo stop.
Right, and your first song, I think you've chosen The Specials as well. Would you like to tell us?
Yeah, well, I partly chose it because I knew that you liked the Specials as well, and my playlist, there's so much music that I love, and I just thought I've actually drawn a Venn diagram, all the music that I love and that I know that you have experienced and like as well, and which I think is a much more focused way of looking at it. So I chose Ghost Town by the Specials, and for me, I remember watching it on television. I saw the video, and it was done in the 1970s video effects, and I remember seeing it when I was about 7 or 8, and just hearing this wonderful opening to the song and just thinking, I don't know what that is, and it was totally new for me, and it's had a life throughout all of my teaching career because it's got one of the most incredible chord progressions and amazing middle sections that is so different to anything else I'd heard before. And I knew I loved it, absolutely loved it. And then every time I've been teaching, I've always played it as part of my whichever year group, 7, 8, 9, 10 or whatever. It just has universal appeal and it's magic.
Excellent. Should we get Echo to play it?
Echo, play Ghost Town by the Specials.
Ghost Town by the Specials.
Stop.
Right, excellent.
So you've why on earth, if you're on this desert island,
Yeah.
the one thing you may be thinking, okay, you've got water, you know, finding water and stuff, you won't think, okay, I have to have the Spice Girls. Why have you put them on your playlist?
There's a number of answers I could give to that question. I think the one I'll go with is, again, it reminds me of early teaching. When I was teaching the next year in Portugal, I taught a little group of 7-year-olds, and those 7-year-olds loved the Spice Girls like nothing else. And there's a particular little girl who used to jump around, was impossible to manage, but she used to sing with her pen this particular song, Two Becomes One by the Spice Girls. And it just takes me back to that time, which was also a time when I met my wife. So good memories here in terms of teaching and my personal life coming together. So let's have a listen to that. Echo, please play Two Becomes One by the Spice Girls.
To Become One by Spice Girls.
This is the... They don't do that anymore, do they, with lighters?
Candlelight and slow forever, a dream of you and me together. Say you believe it, say you believe it. Free your mind of doubt and danger, be for real.
Okay, stop, Echo. Echo.
We can achieve
Echo,
it.
stop.
Now, everybody of our generation had a favourite Spice Girl. Would you like to just say who yours was, please, and why?
A Baby Spice, because she's quite a cute face really, and and that's about it. I can't. I mean, she did sing well as well, but that, yeah. What about you? Which one was yours?
Probably Scary Spice, because
Why?
I quite like being scared. I think by her that would have been nice. Anyway, your second song is a Madness song. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Well, both you and I have talked about Madness and how brilliant they were, and we thought about playing Baggy Trousers because that's obviously a magic song as well, and the fact that when we were at school, that was what school was like. It summarised everything about it. So, but I picked another song called House of Fun, which was, as we're growing up and you get into your sort of, teenage years, latter teenage years, you start to experience other things in your life. And this particular experience that he describes of going into a shop, a chemist shop, and buying something was particularly resonant, perhaps, of my latter teen years.
Okay, nice.
Echo, play House of Fun by
Madness.
House of Fun by Madness.
Good morning, can I help you, son? 16 today,
listen if you serve and love my wife. But trouble
Echo, stop. So your third track, no, is it third track?
Yeah.
What is your third track?
It's Rasta Mouse and the Easy Crew, and the song is called Rasta Mouse.
Okay, so why pick that?
Well, I've always liked reggae music and ska music, and when my child was born and became 2 or 3, we used to watch CBeebies, and there was a show, Rasta Mouse, and I just loved the show and I loved this song. And it was also when I got my job at Further Education. And since then I've been in further education, and it was a great move for me, moving from the private sector. So this song, reminds me of that time, both again personal and work related.
So what year are we talking for this?
We're talking about 2008, that kind of time. Have you ever seen the programme Rasta Mouse?
I've seen bits of it, but I wasn't a regular viewer.
No, well,
Not like you, Mark. So
that's fair enough.
let's see if Echo can play it.
Okay, Echo, please play Rasta Mouse and Easy Crew.
Shuffling songs by Rasta Mouse and the Easy Crew.
Rasta and Scrunchy and Zuma, also known as the Easy Crew. Crime fighters, they're very special agents, playing reggae when the work is through. Give it up, give it up, give it up for the Easy Crew. Solving mysteries in the neighborhood, always there to make a bad thing good.
Okay, Echo, stop. It's interesting, that track. One of the things that I used to play is reggae a lot, and Bob Marley.
Yeah.
We haven't got him on the list, which is terrible, isn't it? Really.
It's a
If
shocking
you're not
omission.
if you're not gonna have Bob Marley, you've got to have Rasta Mouse, haven't you? Really.
It's the next level down, but
interchangeable.
interchangeable almost.
This next one, in 1997, I did a teaching practice, and it was the most, grueling thing in my entire life.
Was this the one in Swindon?
No.
Okay.
That was Swindon was amazing.
Was it in comparison?
Swindon, yeah. No, it was me that has the problem. It's just so much planning, and I used to live in this digs for a whole month with this Italian lady who was cooking, and every day I'd come back and she'd cook this amazing Italian meal. So, and this song, I used to sit there in my room thinking, I've got to plan for tomorrow, and have no idea what to do. So I used to stick this on, this track, and it just used to lift me completely. It just so amazingly transformed me out of any worries I had at the time.
Was this during your PGCE?
It was during my PGCE, yeah. So, and it has the same effect for me now whenever I hear it, and it's a bit overplayed, but I just think it's an amazing track.
This was one I might know when I hear it, but I don't recognise it from its...
Well, see which programme it came from.
Okay.
So, Echo, play I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free by Billy Taylor Trio.
I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free by Billy Taylor Trio.
Echo, stop.
Yeah, of course, that was film 91, 92, 93, 94, etc., etc.
Oh, good old Barry Norman.
Who
as
died
well.
only a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, was it? I think it was a bit earlier than that.
Was it? No.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Quite recently.
I mean, he's going to take over the Pickled Onion franchise. That's the most important question on everyone's lips,
I know.
isn't it? Really.
But a great song. I love that too. But I didn't know it was called that.
So what have you got now lined up for number? Is it number?
Number 4.
4, yeah.
Right.
Four.
This when I came to Bath College, I started. I took over a group of teacher training students who had already been there for a year with Ian Young, and one of the students there is a friend of yours, Ginny.
Oh, yes.
And I remember observing one of her lessons, and she played a couple of bands that I'd never heard of. And both of them I started really to listen to after that. One of them was Katzenjammer, which is like this Norwegian weird folk group. And the other one was a even more bizarre kind of German cowboy group called Bosshaus. And I started listening to those, both of those, and my daughter particularly liked one song from Bosshaus, and they're kind of so rubbish they're good. It's that kind of thing. So I've chosen one of those songs because it reminds me of that early teacher training, and it also was my daughter's favourite song when she was about 2. So have a listen to this, see what you think.
Will Echo pick it out? That's the question.
That is the big question. Echo, play I'm on a High by Bosshaus.
I'm on a High album version by the Bosshaus.
Cruising down the street in my pickup truck, I'm on my way to see my usual crew. And no need to hurry, no need to worry, oh no, mama, don't feel blue. I'm gonna see my baby 'cause she's waiting for me. I'm gonna take her to the rodeo show. And no need to hurry, no need to worry, oh no, baby, let it go. I'm on a highway, highway, now on top of the world. I'm on a highway, ready to fly, gonna take.
So what was your first
Wow.
thoughts about the Bosshaus?
I mean, so they're a German band, are they?
They're German. They sing with these weird American accents, and they dress in sort of cowboy clothes, and they're very bizarre.
I mean, interestingly, the first thing that hit me was how well it's recorded, and that the drums are just sounding like, well, the best thing you'd expect from Nashville. You know, incredible sound, and they got it, haven't they? You know, that is authentic. Apart from the slight German accent, it is authentic country and western, isn't it? But with a twist. I can see why it's grabbed you.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Okay, and your next song is a bit of an 80s classic, Sweet Dreams.
Yeah, again, this is same thing as the Ghost Town. This just hit me the first time I saw it on the telly and heard it. Eurythmics, Sweet Dreams, and I just loved it. I loved the whole drum machine thing. The fact that it sounded quite clinical and quite robotic. And I did think about putting in one of the Kraftwerk songs, The Model, which again is just that magical, rhythmic, robotic type stuff. And
great song.
But also, Annie Lennox and Dave Stewart, I love them both, but I think when they get together and they do stuff together, it's something really magical, and that was it. It was a love affair that I had with the band until they split, really. But I've got all their albums, and really great.
Excellent.
Echo, play Sweet Dreams by Eurythmics.
Sweet dreams are made of this by Eurythmics.
Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world in the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you.
Echo,
Some of them
stop. So you have a bit of a connection with Eurythmics as well, and a different, or Eurythmy, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, well, I went to a Steiner school, and in a Steiner school you do this sort of curative movement, veils, and the veils are all sort of pastel colours, and with the lighting of the stage they kind of change colour as you move, and then you do all this weird kind of stuff with your hands and arms.
Why?
It's meant to help with a whole number of problems that you might have, such as physical problems. It's meant to balance you and do all number of other weird and wonderful things to your spiritual self as well as your physical being. I'll teach you some.
And did it?
No, it's a pile of tosh.
So out of the two, which do you prefer, Eurythmics or Eurythmy?
Eurythmics wins it hands down.
Brilliant. Okay,
Yeah.
Annie, if you're listening, you've won.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good.
Exactly.
So what's your number 5?
My number 5 is a group that I came across in the last 4 or 5 years called the Cat Empire. And they're an Australian band, and they play a fusion mix of... There's a bit of reggae in there, there's a bit of rock and roll, there's a bit of salsa, there's all kinds of stuff. And sometimes they sing in different languages. And there's one song that they do called The Chariot, which is really about friendship. And it's a lovely song, and I think it's a suitable song for what we're doing now in terms of our friendship, but also more widely about how we need to band together. We need to sort of create relationships with the people around us. And also my kids like this particular song, which is always another reason why I like it. Okay, Echo, play The Chariot by the Cat Empire.
The Chariot by the Cat Empire.
This is a song that came up on me one night when the music had been telling me better one more war and one more fight. And I sighed, but then I thought about my friends. Then I wrote this declaration just in case the world ended. Our guns, we shot them in the face. We said, oh, we didn't need no bullets cause we rely on some words instead. Kill someone in an argument and with them with our brains. And we kill ourselves by laughing at the funny things we say. My bones, we had them safe for special times when the crew would call us shakedown. We break down our party land. Man, women, that's so sexy. They explode us with their looks. Are we blowing up some speakers, jumping around till the ground shook? And missiles, they were the road trips that we launched. The dripping crosses, silence, starting missions at the break of dawn. Yawn and smile, say what direction shall we take?
Echo,
Somewhere
stop. Well, we've got a bit of a reggae theme happening here. haven't we?
I'm suddenly realising this as we're going through these songs one by one.
There's nothing wrong with that, though, is there? I mean, through my FE career, I've been in a couple of little reggae gigs and things like that, and it is just takes over your body.
It's happy, positive music, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's good. It is feel-good music, and I think just the fact that you've got the offbeat stuff just lifts everyone, doesn't it? Lifts the spirit.
Slight change of direction for your next song, though, but...
Well, yeah, this is Bach's Cello Suite number 1, so you can't get much further away from reggae than perhaps J.S. Bach. Although, interestingly, Bach is about rhythm and it's about bass, and there's a number of reasons why I love this song. There's some birds tweeting in the background. I wonder what they're
probably agreeing with you.
Yeah, oh, they are.
Great lovers of Bach.
When I started working FE, again, like you, it was my first foray into FE, and I was working in Bristol, and I had this little mixtape, and it was quite a long drive from Bath to the other side of Bristol, and this was on the mixtape, and it was, one of the reasons I love it is because it's only one line, but it has a bass line, and it has a tenor line, it has an alto line and a soprano line, but all played by one cello, and your brain has to fill in and do all the other bits. And I just learnt to sing it, which I'm not going to do for you now, but there we go. And I learnt to sing it because I just listened to it so many times, and it just makes me feel calm, and it's just a wonderful piece of music.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Echo, play Bach Cello Suite number 1.
Unaccompanied Cello Suite number 1 in G major, BWV 1007, Prelude, by Johann Sebastian Bach.
Echo, stop.
Yeah, beautiful piece of music. Like a lot of classical music or Baroque music.
Yeah, Baroque. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the main man, really. J.S. Bach wrote all the rules, and broke them, and then you wouldn't have Mozart, Beethoven, any of the other composers really without Bach, I don't think.
Standing there, we're all standing on the shoulders of giants, as it were.
Absolutely. So what have you got? Which shoulders are you going to stand on metaphorically for number 6?
Yes.
Or number 5?
Number 6.
Number 6.
So this one is about my access teaching at Bath College. And there was a film a few years ago called Pan, about Peter Pan. And it's one of those films which had a brilliant trailer. The trailer was absolutely fantastic. The film was a load of rubbish. But the trailer had this song in it. And it's called I Believe by Christina Perri. And it has this refrain that goes something along the lines of "This is not the end of this is the beginning," or something along those lines. And I thought that was very good for the Access students because they're finishing what is a stepping stone to going to university. And so this was the song I always used to think about playing at their graduation, but I never managed to arrange it. But anyway, I think this is a good song to look forward to. And it's quite an atmospheric song as well. And watch the trailer because it works really well with the trailer. Echo, please play I Believe by Christina Perri.
I Believe by Christina Perri.
Quite interesting, really, that I think that's the thing that we've had in common, really, is that we've always been there trying to help other people in their careers, and whether it's in their teaching careers or whether it's in their education careers or just their professions. And it's lovely to hear uplifting and inspirational music that captures that, really, isn't it? It's really good. Absolutely.
And listen to that further, because the structure of that song is quite different, and it doesn't have a conventional chorus. It sort of ends on this refrain, which is the bit that I wanted to get to.
Oh, but we missed it.
It's worth listening on. Anyway, your next song, Little Bridget Flynn.
Yeah, this was. I went to a concert in Chippenham, and it was the Chippenham Folk Festival about 5 or 6 years ago, and I just went to see this guy called Donal Maguire, can't say his name probably, and he did this little song, and it was called Little Bridget Flynn, and it just lifted me totally, because it's about a bachelor, and it's quite touching, because at the time I was a bachelor, and being a bachelor has been quite a big part of my life, really, so far, and all of the messages that he gets across in the song are things that I could share, and my parents, when they heard it, laughed because they said it's you, and it's a bit sad in some ways, but also quite heartwarming to have a song that sums up who you are and what you do. And I think I picked it also because we both have an affinity with folk, as well, and so it's been nice to play the odd little folk song, and we spawned quite a few conversations, which has been really good. So I don't think Echo's going to have this, but let's see. Okay, Echo, play Little Bridget Flynn. Oh, it's not even coming on. It doesn't even want to know. Echo, play Little Bridget Flynn by Donal Maguire. No.
That was a no.
So let's pretend that you've heard this amazing, uplifting song that has totally lifted you wherever, to another world.
Well, I must admit, I thoroughly enjoyed that song, and it reminded me of you very much.
Oh, thank you.
I think it captured an essence of you very well.
It's almost like you don't always have to even hear that song to be uplifted by it.
You can bypass. It saves a lot of time.
And for copyright reasons, it was good as well.
Yes.
So,
continuing
yeah,
on the folky thing, is I think we both watched this TV show over the last year on Netflix called The Detectorists, which I found to be the most charming TV show I've watched in absolutely years. And the writer of the theme song is a guy called Johnny Flynn, who I then downloaded his latest album, and the next song is from that album, and it's a song again. I've been singing with my kids a lot in the car because it has quite a repetitive chorus, and it'll be the song I'll be singing for the rest of the day after this, because once it's in my head, it's in my head. Have a listen. I don't know if you've heard it yet, but here it is. Hopefully, Echo. Play Dark Road by Johnny Flynn.
I can't find Dark Road by Johnny Flynn in your music library.
Oh, how disappointing.
I've got a way round this, Clive, if you'll bear with me.
Go on.
Echo, please play Johnny Flynn.
Shuffling songs by Johnny Flynn.
Hold me care tight, hold me spellbound, cold and handheld.
Echo, next track.
Echo, pause. Tell me about your next track.
Well, this is totally inspired by you, really. The fact that we talked about it in the office. You said, "Oh, you need to watch this watch this program called The Detectorists," and I'd seen it on television, and I thought I'd never really tuned into it. But it reminded me of the conversations that we used to have about things that we'd seen on Netflix, and it really, I suppose it epitomises the fact that people are watching television in the same way, and that we don't go, "Did you see BBC One last night? Did you see Wogan? Did you see this and the other?" And we'd have those discussions at work 20 years ago. But now we don't. We sort of say, "Have you seen on Netflix?" "Oh no, you haven't." "Okay, go and watch it, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow." And it's changed the way that we listen to it. So for me, that was the one thing. And I actually thought, well, I should go and watch it, because Mark is never wrong, obviously, never wrong.
It's true.
And I watched it, and it is magical. The way it's filmed is beautiful. My dad is a metal detectorist, not a metal detector, but a metal detectorist.
As the show emphasises.
He says it's absolutely rubbish, because he says that none of it's true. And when you ask him about specific things like, do they get a bit protective about the sites that they go on? Yes, they do. How they get annoyed with other societies? Yes, they do. Everything about it is true, and he disputes it, but he says it is true when you ask him specific questions. But the one thing that really glues the whole thing together is this beautiful, simple song that starts off the whole thing, and it's. You never get bored with it. It's 2 series, and you hear this little theme tune coming in throughout the program, throughout the series, and it glues it together with a magic. And it reminds me of working with you and working with the team, because it is such an unusual sound, and he's got such a honest, open voice. And for me, that encapsulates, the 2 years of working with you.
Excellent. Okay, Echo, play.
Resuming the music.
Will you search through the lonely earth for me? Climb through the briar and bramble. I'll be your treasure. Touch of the kings and the breath of the wind. I need the call of all the songbirds. They sang all the wrong words.
Okay, Echo, stop.
Right.
Haunting stuff, isn't it?
It is. It's
magical.
A beautiful song, and I agree. And no matter how many times I listen to it, I really do love it. Okay, to end with a kind of Desert Island Discs kind of vibe. If you were taken and marooned on an island in the middle of nowhere with no possibility of escape, but you were allowed one luxury, what luxury would you take and why?
Well, it's a very portable thing. A full-sized grand piano.
Okay.
I think that would be the portable. Yeah, I could probably float in it and use it, paddle it to the, get off the boat that wrecked.
You wouldn't be allowed to use it in terms of that.
I suppose in the film, in the piano, it got marooned on the island. Yeah, okay, fair enough. So I find this piano and I set it up. That would be my luxury item.
And would that keep you going?
Well, I think so. And if the piano stool that was with it was marooned miraculously as well, and in it would be in a polythene bag would be loads of music that I could maybe get my way through. Am I allowed?
I think you're allowed that. I think you're allowed that. And how would you cope being marooned alone? Are you good at coping alone?
I am for a while, but I would have to probably learn all the piano music and then chop the thing up and build a boat.
Right. So you would attempt to escape?
I would, yeah. Okay. And also, you wouldn't think, okay, he's got a piano, so he's going to escape. So then I can actually turn it into a boat.
Nice.
So what about you? What would be your luxury item that you take to this remote desert island?
Well, it would have to be something to keep me from getting bored, because I get bored pretty easily. And,
can I just back that up? You definitely do.
And I don't cope very well alone. I'm pretty sure after a week or so you'd come and find a gibbering wreck of a man. But I would go for a full-size snooker table, because snooker is so difficult, and it would give me endless opportunity to practice and try and actually get good at it.
And you like balls as well.
And I do like balls. Talking balls as well. Although not literally talking balls. That would be quite scary. Okay, what about you get the Bible? I don't know why they give you the Bible, but they also give you the complete works of Shakespeare, but you're allowed a book. What would be your book and why?
I think it would have to be a survival book. I know that a lot of people on Desert Island Discs say that, but I think it would be really interesting because you've got a motivation to actually read it as well, haven't you? You think, okay, I'm going to use that, all the stuff, how to build a little place to sleep in it, and then get you water and all the other things. I just think that would be brilliant. And how to build a boat would be in there as well. So how to convert a piano into a seagoing vessel.
See Appendix 492.
So what about you? What would be which book would you?
Well, I've gone for something equally practical, and it's a book. It's a fictional book, not a fictional book. The book is fiction, but it would have practical application. I hope it would be Lord of the Rings, a fantasy epic. Because you can learn stuff from them. They do stuff in that book which enables you to do all manner of things. And there's magic, which you might be able to learn as well. There's different languages which you could learn. There's hobbits, there's holes in the ground. There's just all those things that you need when it comes to living on a desert island.
I'm amazed how you can turn Lord of the Rings into a practical manual.
To be honest, I think it would have the edge over your survival manual, to be honest. And if I'm attacked by an orc, it would give me a way of defending myself, perhaps.
They're troublesome, aren't they, them orcs?
Them orcs.
Well, this has been magical, hasn't it? It's been a magical journey.
Fun, absolutely. And thank you very much, Clive, for bringing all the equipment and our sound guy.
Yeah, let's point the camera at Matt, because he's been diligently monitoring stuff over there, and he's been very quiet, which is unusual.
Very unusual.